I told you guys I was let go today after 20 years. No reason given.
You ever lose your job at 50 and think, I should have been a rich auntie by now?
I just read a statistic that 50% of you between the ages of 55 and 65 have this many dollars to retire.
So with the ongoing mess that is the job market in 2025, the layoffs are not slowing down one bit. But one aspect that I'd like to dive into a little bit more are the older workers getting fired. I'm not saying that it's easy for any age right now in this climate, but as we've seen, corporations are trying to cut costs any way they can. And who better to let go than somebody who's been working there for decades and most likely has a higher salary than their coworkers. Then getting back into the job market becomes extremely difficult because of the competition on top of the rising popularity of AI in the workforce. And many of these people do not have the option to just retire and live out the rest of their life. They absolutely have to find employment. The entire situation is just a mess. We have a lot to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into it.
So I just woke up realizing that I don't have a job. I have to say it, I'm unemployed. Wow. There was a lot of crying that went on yesterday because the shock value was it was freaking bad. Somebody's got to get better at letting people go because, dude, wow. Anyway, I'm excellent in my job. I'm freaking amazing at my job. I'm a writer, I'm an editor, I do social media, I do newsletters for companies, I do press kits, press releases. I'm actually a ghostwriter as a side hustle that I can't turn into a full-time thing at the moment, but I don't think people are going to hire me because they don't want someone 58.
And in my opinion, I think that's a pretty tough age because it's still too early to retire unless you already have a nest egg. And I mean, with the way things are going, that probably means another decade of work. I know 65 is the age talked about the most right now, but I'm starting to see 67. I wouldn't doubt 70 or 75. By the time my age group starts getting up into that range, there's going to be a good amount of people who never end up retiring, but that's a topic for a different video. We could take a look at one of the comments here. I was laid off after 25 years from AT&T when I was 52. I found another job. Take everything off your resume prior to 2000 so you don't give away your age. So now you have to start hiding things from potential employers. Obviously, you can't do much about it when you have an in-person interview. We'll see some experiences later with that, but we have another experience from you guys here. I'm part of these people. I got laid off back in September 2021 after working for the same company for 26 plus years. I got laid off 2 days after my 51st birthday. I was fortunate enough that I worked there for long enough to get a little bit over a year's severance. I now found a job at a totally different industry and starting my working career all over again from the bottom up. I mean, most people that age would assume that whatever current line of work they're in, they'd be doing until they end up retiring, but unfortunately, that's just not the case for an increasing number of people. They have to start from square one at 51 years old.
I told you guys I was let go today after 20 years. No reason given. No conversation, no one called me, just a formal letter. And then I found out that someone I thought had my back was holding the knife. And that's got me kind of shaken. I can be, despite my snarky nature, I can be naive sometimes, and I didn't see it coming. Feeling pretty down.
I mean, whatever situation happened with a possible coworker is one thing, but my takeaway is, again, 20 plus years of employment and they send you an email to can you. Nothing in person at all, not even a Zoom call or AI. You just get a random email in your inbox and boom, you're gone. See ya. I know I say this virtually every time we talk about the job market and layoffs, but it's really not surprising why people don't have company loyalty at all anymore. Why would you?
I work with tons of people. I coach a lot of people, and I am seeing an alarming trend. It's so bad. These corporations are waiting till these people, these talented people, give 20 to 30 years of their life to the business, and then right before retirement, They are firing them. They're terminating them. They are putting them on PIPs. They're giving them bad performance reviews. What I'm seeing a trend in them being labeled, right? I'm seeing a trend in them being spoken to through emails or whatever, as if they are losing their memories. They're being gaslit as if they're being given directives when they haven't been. And that type of stuff is being put on performance reviews and PIPs. And the purpose of that is they're creating a paper trail to get them out because they're this close to retirement.
Doing all this to fire their own employees, on top of course, trying to dodge things like severance or possibly pensions. Those are increasingly becoming a thing of the past, but that's exactly what they're doing, leaving a paper trail with all of these emails, giving different reasoning of why they're firing you instead of just you costing the company more than they want to pay you because you've been there for so long. And it would be much easier to hire somebody out of college, give them bare minimum pay. They'd still take it because it's better than no job, and they'd be able to overwork them because they have a mountain of student debt. Some of the comments here: this has been going on for years, and it's a big reason why younger folks have no loyalty to corporations. There you go. Ageism is real. They fire us and we can't get hired in other places. 27 years of experience just gone. Almost the length of my entire life to a company. There's a ton of clips like this I've found on TikTok as well, when your 64-year-old father gets pushed out of his job 1 year before retirement. And if you think that this is all just conspiracies, this isn't actually happening with these big companies, we could take a look at this next example.
We need to talk about this leaked internal memo from Ally Bank. Here's the concerning part, and if your employer is doing this, you need to call a lawyer. The president says, we will offer select employees who are 63 and a half years and older the option to consider a voluntary separation. You might be wondering, holy cow, that's obviously illegal. It's obviously age discrimination. No company would do that. And you would be wrong. HP just paid $18 million for the same shenanigans. Employers who do this are engaging in age discrimination, and they're going to owe you a lot more than whatever pennies they offer to kick you out the door. Don't take it lying down.
My company has done this a few times, offered early retirement so they could either lay off or on another occasion hire new employees for, of course, much lower pay. The concerning part also is that if you refuse their offer, they usually try and find a way to push you out, which is why most of the time people would take the deal. Once you get hit with one of these options, it's well known that they don't want you to work there anymore, so they could start doing some of the crazy stuff like we saw a couple examples ago. Sending you emails, gaslighting you, making it look like you're not 100% all there in the head? I don't know. This just sounds absolutely insane to me.
So when did Gen X become the unemployables? I didn't really think I saw that 5 years ago when I left corporate. I should say corporate kicked me out. Curious if you out there also feel that you're unemployable. But all the science from big corporate are showing that that's exactly the case, right? The trend of, well, your Gen Xers aren't moldable to new technologies, which is crap, because we led and managed through multiple technology revolutions or evolutions, right? Mobile, digital, the internet, etc. We have too much experience, but we're too expensive. And I think that's the bottom line for many big corps right now, is they'd rather take expense out of the business than leverage the expertise that Gen Xers can bring to it.
We have a comment from one of you guys that goes along with this. They want a 20-year-old with a work ethic of a 30-year-old, the maturity of a 40-year-old, and the experience of a 50-year-old who will work for the salary of a 10-year-old. So I think one of the biggest takeaways of this entire video, even if you're much younger than most of these people, because a majority of my viewership is anywhere from 25 to 34 years old, but this is kind of showing the blueprint of what's going to happen to us in 20 or 30 years at our current jobs. So it really doesn't matter how old you are currently, everybody's going to have to start dealing with this eventually.
Are there any other Gen Xers out there that are jobless and finding it impossible to find a job? Or is it just us? My husband and I have been out of work and we've been doing side hustles, but it's barely keeping us afloat. And come this next month, all savings is depleted. It won't keep us afloat. And we just can't find a job. Nobody's calling. We're sending out resumes. Nobody's calling. He's got 2 interviews. Both ended up filling from within, so they say. And it's just freaking scary. Nothing prepared us for this. to be in our 50s and wondering how the heck we're going to survive.
I know some people's game plan is to get to that retirement threshold and then hopefully be able to live on Social Security checks. We're already seeing examples today that that's just really not the case. But with examples like this of people in their 50s, they still have a long way to go, 10 to 15 years until they could possibly start thinking about that kind of stuff. We have another comment from one of you guys. I think the retirement crisis will get even worse. A lot of people can't save because of the low paying jobs, inflation, and insane rental rates. And now that home ownership is out of reach for many middle-class Americans, they won't have a house to retire with either. I know that this is a pretty grim video so far, but we're going to transition over to a very interesting story that I found of another older worker getting laid off, but the story goes a little bit deeper.
I think I'm getting fired today. I actually had to go in the office, which the only time I go in the office is when the receptionist isn't in, and the receptionist is going to be in today. What other reason could there possibly be for me to go in the office if I'm not working? I don't know. So I don't start technically until 7:30, and it's 7 o'clock right now. I don't know if there's anyone even in the office right now, so I'm just going to wait a little bit. I don't know. So I may be unemployed in a couple minutes. I've been here for 10 years.
Okay, so initially this looks like another one of the TikTok videos that we've seen 100 times before. Not sounding too good for this person who's been working there for a decade, but we could go right over to the second part of the clip.
Yeah, I got fired after 10 years. Apparently I was, and it went against the code about anti-bullying. Like, I was bullying people. What? If anybody knows me, I don't bully people. And I was not finishing tasks, and I was taking phone calls during meetings, which I did, but it was for my daughter who's having surgery, so whatever. Yeah, whatever. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Put in 10 years at this place, and literally this is what I get. There's no warning. You just get fired. So anyone's hiring, I'm available.
I think we should just go straight over to the comments with this one. As someone in HR, I just know that this wasn't the first time they were talking to you about this. Big party at your office tonight. I work in HR and they don't fire someone for bullying unless they have hard proof. Without it, they just have a big liability on their hands for wrongful termination. So this video kind of got flipped on its head, basically admitting to bullying people at work and getting fired from your decade-long job because of it. And she decided to upload another video explaining in more detail, which did not help her case at all. So along with the obvious issues we've seen in this video so far of older workers having a difficult time finding jobs in this market right now, she decided to record a video for the entire world to see of her getting fired, talking about all the drama at her work, when it sounds like it was her fault she got canned in the first place. This makes it infinitely harder for a future employer to want to hire you, because if there's any drama, you're just going to go right over to TikTok and make another video about it. Why would they want the risk? More comments from this clip. HR here, you need to do some self-reflection here. Falsifying your time card is exactly what you're doing. You're clocking in but doing personal things. That's theft of company time. Freely admitting that on social media, not a good idea. I just know the office was relieved. Making me side with an employer is crazy. Kind of shooting yourself in the foot for a little bit of TikTok attention does not seem worth it to me. But I've also seen some clips like this showing that the job market is completely fine. All you need to do is work with me and we'd get you a job.
It is a hot job market. It does not matter your age. I just helped a gentleman in Boston get 3 job offers in less than 8 weeks. He went from making $134,000 a year to $185,000 a year, and he didn't look 65. He looked a little older than that. So if you're struggling in your job search, get in touch with me ASAP. Send me a message here on TikTok. Link with me, send me a message, connect with me on LinkedIn, Peggy McKee, Career Coach, Career Confidential, or send me an email at coachpeggymckee@gmail.com. But let's get it done. It's the best market we've had in 15 years for employees. Salaries are bigger, offers are quicker. Let's make it happen.
So this isn't too surprising because her job is to try to get other people jobs, just kind of ignoring the fact that we're in a terrible job market, especially for the age group that I guess she specializes in, because we could go right over to a comment from one of you guys. 58 years old, I'm a nurse of 25 plus years in clinical research, was laid off in February. I've applied to over 1,000 jobs and have not yet had a single interview. Went to the unemployment office and the lady behind the desk said to me, "You have a fantastic resume, but if you get an interview, they aren't going to hire you. You're just too old." That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but we could keep going on with the different clips and experiences that other people have had.
If you work in corporate, I hate to break it to you, but they don't care about you. I was laid off 2 days after I was given a $10,000 raise. And also I was working on this big project that we were soon to be launching. And also I was close with my boss. He told me, your job is safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. And it did. No matter what they tell you, no matter the amount of money they give you, they can let you go at any time. And it is a terrible thing that they can do that. I could never do that to somebody. Don't get me started on the friendships at work. Your friendships, people that I thought I was so close with, people that I've traveled with, people that I thought were some of my best friends, haven't even called to reach out, nothing. So don't put your blood, sweat, and tears into a company, into people that just aren't going to care. They don't care.
Okay, so the $10,000 raise before you get cans sounds insane. That's what some of the comments say. Why would they give you a $10,000 raise and then lay you off 2 days later? I know the decision makers aren't just waking up that morning and deciding they're going to lay people off today. Normally, these layoffs are planned 4 weeks or more in advance. That's a weird case. I agree, it sounds very odd, but still adds into the fact that there really is no loyalty or job security, to be honest, now in 2025. There is a little bit of a part 2 to this creator as well.
I received a comment yesterday on a post that I made yesterday about being laid off for over a year. And the comment was, you've been laid off over a year. Are you trying not to work? And why can't you go down to your local store and get a job? So I made a post about over a month ago talking about how I was laid off at 50, being at the peak of my career. And thousands of you replied saying you're going through the same thing. You know, is it ageism? Is it like the market right now? What is going on? And probably a little bit of everything. I know that I've gone to apply for work at entry-level positions as an example to one company. And this has happened several times, but this one particular company said, we just don't think you'd be happy in this position, it being entry level and you're not being challenged. Well, I applied to a director position or a leader position in that same company, and they said, you know what, we're actually hiring internally. We're just hiring outside because of a survey that we're doing.
We have heard all of these same excuses before in previous videos about the job market too. Laid off a year ago, 57 with an impressive portfolio of work. I finally got a job at Barnes & Noble. It's part-time and minimum wage, and I'm grateful for it. Never thought that this would be my life. Try being 62, too young to retire and too old to hire. The job market is 100% broken right now, 42, and the same thing for me. So it's not really too surprising when you start seeing examples like this of people kind of checking out.
You ever lose your job at 50 and think, I should have been a rich auntie by now, you know? I didn't think that I would be in a position at 50 years old and be unemployed, you know? When you're in your 20s and you lose your job, you just think, all right, I'll just get another job, you know? It is what it is. And this time, this ain't the first time I've been in a situation where I've had to get another job. Ain't the first time. But this time hits a little differently this time. Because unlike in the past, you know, when if I was put in a situation where I was going to lose my job or I did lose my job, I would be frazzled, but I would, you know, instantly go out and get another job. This time I'm surprisingly at peace and calm.
Now, I'm not sure if she's more calm because she has some sort of a nest egg behind her. It kind of didn't sound like it from the beginning of the video. But if we're seeing examples of this, of people not caring anymore, starting to check out of the job market, what does that say for anybody else who's currently just getting into the job market, maybe right out of college or in their 20s? It basically just paints a very grim future of what we're going to see.
So I got laid off 3 weeks ago now. I took the first few days and cried. I think I was in shock. And then after that, I've just been contemplating life. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm actually really good at what I do. The industry I'm in is really slow right now, but I had a big milestone birthday last week. I'm 50. Turned 50. Yay me. I'm at this crossroads. I feel like I'm at a crossroads in life. Do I take the path I know and hope that I can find something? Or do I travel down some other unknown path in life that's scary and new?
That kind of goes along with one of the experiences from you guys, the comment earlier, having to start all the way from the bottom at 50 years old. Many people don't want to do that. I know I wouldn't. But now we could talk a little bit more about retirement, because that would be maybe the option for some of the people trying to take an earlier retirement. Even though it's not the best idea, they'd have to penny pinch a lot more than they would initially. But some people don't really have the option because there's almost no way they're going to get a job in today's world. But from the stats that are already coming out right now, retirement is not looking good for a lot of people.
I just read a statistic that 50% of you between the ages of 55 and 65 have this many dollars to retire. And I thought, oh, man. And that's me, you guys. I haven't done any of that. So I wanted to share with you guys that I just opened a Vanguard account, which I'm drilling into my kids as well right now, that no one drilled into me. It's not too late, you guys. If you look on TikTok on these things, how to open a Vanguard account, how to start, how it compounds at just minimal amount of money every month, minimal or more, whatever you want to do. I have a payment going out twice a month.
So she starts going into a lot more of the investment avenues. And of course, compounding can be amazing if you start as early as possible. But unfortunately, if you're in your 50s looking to retire in your 60s, the rate of return is going to be a fraction of what it could be if you started in your 20s or even 30s. So saving absolutely nothing for such a long period of time could have devastating effects. Some of the comments that open up a can of worms that we're going to talk about for the rest of the video. I had no savings when I felt like I had to retire. I found digital marketing business for extra income. So something that I uncovered while looking up this topic on TikTok is an absolutely massive amount of grifters trying to sell courses, digital marketing, side hustles, anything online, all to the older generation of people. Just take a look at the description of this account, helping retirees make money with their phone. Click here. You go over to a link with a course that costs $597 to start digital marketing, right? Now, if you watched my videos before, you've seen this over and over again with different accounts. It's such an oversaturated market that you're not going to just buy this course for $600, implement very basic strategies, and start racking in money. You're not going to make anything, but this guy's going to make $600 off of you. It's 40% off. It could have been $1,000, I guess. And in the end, you get completely screwed and out even more money. There are a ton of these people.
So I lost my job at 60. I'll be 62 in a couple months, and I decided I'm not going back to work. Instead, I'm going to follow a 2-hour workday where I'm working 2 hours a day, following instruction from 6- and 7-figure earners on how to make $300 to $900 a day.
I'm just going to cut it. You've heard this sales pitch before, but some of the comments interested. Linking his website. Love to know more. I'm in the same boat. There's more of these people out there than I ever expected. I don't know if it's more than the day traders or all of the wannabe alpha male guys that you've seen get made fun of on the internet, but it's just the same cookie cutter accounts specifically targeting what would be older workers who currently got laid off from their job, and they're panicking because I just looked up lost my job at 60 on TikTok, and if you start scrolling, it is nothing but these gurus over and over again. They try to make it sound like they're in the same boat as you. They didn't know what they were going to do, and they magically found this side hustle that makes them a ton of money. I mean, you could take a look here.
It's rough for anybody at any age to lose their job, but I think it's exceptionally hard for people that are in their 50s or 60s because there does seem to be a little bit of ageism going on, and we're really struggling out here getting another job. So I did start digital marketing. I found a blueprint to help me learn how to make income online.
It's the same thing every time, but I think this is specifically malicious because they're playing on people's emotions right now, like I said, panicking about trying to find a job because they're too young to be able to retire or they don't have enough money to retire and they have no idea what to do. They're looking up things on social media, they find these people, all of them are selling some sort of course for a ton of money that in the end won't help you at all and you'll be in an even worse spot. I could just show you a couple of the accounts that I screenshotted, how real people are creating extra income online. Link in the description there, helping 60 plus stay to retire with clarity and purpose, from paycheck to paycheck to freedom and retirement. Helping 45 plus earn daily income 2 hours a day. Lost my job at 58, now I make money with my cell phone. All of them also say free guide, by the way, but if you look at it, it's just another funnel to get into the paid course. You get basically no information. Helping Gen X through midlife shifts to more alignment and freedom. And this is what they link to. Discover how to earn 100% profit online using proven blueprint. It's just unbelievable to see, honestly, and I wanted to put this in the video even though it doesn't 100% overall connect with the topic, but I just wanted some people to see this because I honestly think this would trick a ton of people into losing a lot more money. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.